Aloha! Welcome to the Live Ukulele podcast. My name is Brad Bordessa, and in this episode, I'm talking to the one and only Bryan Tolentino. Bryan Tolentino is one of Hawaii's session ukulele players. One of very few, but he's the guy you call when you need ukulele on a song for an album project or you need ukulele for a live show. As an accompanist, he's the guy who's going to jump in and make your sound and your music sound the best that it possibly can and make you as the featured artist sound wonderful. That's sort of what he does, is he fairy dusts, that's what he calls it, and plays in the background and supports. He plays that role, and that's most of what he does. So he has a lot of really interesting things to share as far as staying busy as an accompanying musician and how the role of supporting other musicians, how that works for an ukulele player and how to best achieve that. Really looking forward to getting into this one, so I won't talk long here up front, but just want to remind you folks that if you like what you hear, Live Ukulele is listener supported, and the best way to support the podcast is by subscribing. Next best way of supporting is to go over to liveukulele.com/store and check out one of my lessons or ebooks, follow along there and learn something new today. Alternatively, you can become a supporting member by checking out the link in the podcast description and sending a contribution my way every month to help offset the time that I put into the podcast. I first met Bryan a couple of years ago at Uncle George Kahumoku Jr.'s Slack Key and Ukulele workshop. He started attending as a teacher, and I had heard of Bryan forever since, I was a little kid growing up learning to play G minor fleas. That was one of his kind of big ukulele hits that everybody tried to emulate back in the day. And I think he had kind of heard of me through Herb Ohta Jr. and knew a little bit who I was, or had looked me up or something, because we fell right in. And Bryan's one of those guys who's just such a wonderful socializer, and he always makes everybody feel so comfortable in the moment. And he's super fun. He's not a household name as far as ukulele goes, because he really does like that back seat. He likes to kind of be the guy in the background to play the ukulele part. There's not a whole lot of guys here in Hawaii who kind of do that sort of thing, because most people just either play ukulele on their own or they bring a friend in or whatever. But if you specifically need that accompanist ukulele style, Bryan gets those calls, and it's a really cool space that he fits in, and it puts him in a really unique spot kind of from an ukulele knowledge standpoint, because not a lot of guys do that, but also he has so much experience from that side of the coin, and he just has played with so many people in so many different situations that he's really versatile, and he's really a strong musician because of it, whether he's playing for halau at the Merry Monarch Festival or playing, a recorded part on an album, or gigging as a hired gun at some dinner show. Whatever it might be, he can kind of slip right into that role and do that. And because of all of that experience playing with people and listening and knowing where his part is, it makes him a very valuable person to hire for those kinds of jobs. Like Merry Monarch, you wouldn't ask most ukulele players to play Merry Monarch, because they're not going to have that deep repertoire, that deep understanding of the role of supporting. Because at Merry Monarch, you're hardly ever on TV as the musician. You're just creating the sound for the halau to dance to. That's it. That's your job, is you just have to play the song perfectly, sing the words perfectly, so that the dancers have something to reference. And so it's really a specialized role, and it's fascinating to me to hear Bryan share about this kinds of stuff. And I think that he's got a lot of interesting points that he brings up in our conversation. So I'm really excited to present this interview with Bryan Tolentino, the one and only. Enjoy.
like for me, the Hawaiian music, that's my foundation, but it's how you play the Hawaiian music or how I choose to do it, with all kinds of, just being musical with it. I don't want to do stuff that's already been done, so to speak.
Right.
So I'm always changing up voicings, changing up just arrangements, just changing up. And I get to do that with Halehaku Seabury. If you don't know who that is, he plays with Nahua. He's the lefty guitar player, but he's like Rain Man. That's what I call him. Right? He's so good. Just his musical approach to music, So it's not. I don't want to say your mom and dad's Hawaiian music, but yeah, we run it hard. One of the sayings that he has is, ready, fire, aim, man. Nothing's rehearsed and everything is just pretty much free flowing. Does it always work? No, but it's fun. It's fun playing live music, and this in real time. There's no, okay, wait, reverse, or can we do that again? No, you got to learn on the fly, and that's the fun thing about playing. And then, fun thing about playing ukulele, is how do you accompany a guitar? He brings his casino, he brings his 335. How do you accompany the guitar with the 4-string ukulele? And it's, a lot of times I try and fill up space. I have a low G, but I'm always trying to put 4 notes in a chord. So it just, it's 4-part harmony as opposed to 3-part harmony.
And so how do you arrange songs that, and so you still have that Hawaiian approach, but make something new? Because, like back in the day, Peter Moon got flamed, and I've even heard old school guys in this era talking story with those uncles, and they're like, that's not Hawaiian music, that's rock and roll kind of things. And
I mean, we're all influenced by other types of music, and in this day and age, it's so easily accessible. With Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, you can learn so much faster and quickly by listening to music like that. So the approach is, we just take Hawaiian songs and just add different progressions, or, what we do is we'll change up the vamp, but keep the song structure kind of the same, or we'll keep the vamp and then change up the song structure. Wait, I can play, yeah?
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah, this is my Kale Gamiao Anui ukulele that I used to teach, because all my ukuleles that I perform with have no fret markers.
No dots.
No dots. So it's like, wow, I need one to teach. So, I have a kamaka that I used to, but I started gigging with that at the Aulani Luau. It sounds good. Anyway, so, typical Hawaiian vamp, say like, a song like Ulupalakua, right, is, we'll vamp like this. So and that it's hard to dance to. You cannot dance to it. Whenever we see a dancer come up, it's like, okay, we got to switch, because it's, So we do stuff like that. And a song like Waiakeaniani, wait, how's it go? He aloha, he anawaula, aloha kuupua kailima. So that's the standard way of doing it, right? So we'll play it. How do we play it? Shucks. He aloha, he anawaula, aloha kuupua kailima. He moani ke he ala I ka polila, uhe nei tawai oia pua. Then we'll keep the vamp. And of course, Wahu'iau koni koni sawai koni koni wai hui hui o ke ani ani Huiau I kawai wai hui hui o ke ani ani da 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 da. I mean, we do all those kinds of things, and it took, Holly and I just have the ability to just pick up on where the other guy is going, so to speak, so all of our arrangements kind of morphed into that, like we hear stuff, he'll play something that I'm going, what the frick was that? And then by the second verse is like, okay, I got it, so I'm trying on the fly, I'm trying all of these different voicings, and not, on paper, it might not be correct, because you can write out everything, but it has to be musical, and I always tell my students, well, yeah, that looks good on paper, but how would you use it in a sentence? Mm. How would you play it to make it, all of those voice leading kind of things so that it does sound musical? I want, this, the goal when we play music is to play chords accurately, in time, correctly, right? But I want to play like this. I just want to have movement, man, when I'm playing, but you have to know your place. You have to know your role. You have to know who you're playing with also, right? Because a lot of those times, like the morning kanikapilas with lead, I could do some of that, but it's like, no, this is the format that we're using. So this is how it should be, out of respect to all of the slacky guys and the Hawaiian music, so to speak, right? Mm. But yeah, I throw in a few licks here and there some mornings, but so, and I don't think we're really, or I'm really taking the music where it cannot go or it shouldn't go, because to me it's all about playing live music and all about the groove of the music itself, because I can do the other way too. I can just do the standard Hawaiian music, but I like to add those influences to the music that I like to play, I guess, And you do the same, I hear some of the stuff that you do, so it's music has to evolve. Yeah, like ancient chants have been turned into music, right? And like kavika and all those things, so it has to evolve. There has to be foundation with it, though. You cannot just make any kind, so to speak. There has to be, my foundation is rooted in Hawaiian music. So I still respect the fact that I can do that, but yet, let's use a different GPS to get to where we want to go.
So what is your foundation in Hawaiian music? I mean, as a kid, I remember we became aware of you when you released the first album, and it was like, oh wow, this guy's really good. Where did he come from? Like, how did you grow up learning to play? I know I see stuff on your Instagram about your family and stuff.
My first CD, I think I was 40 years old, man. But prior to that, I was recording with everybody, playing with everybody. Growing up, I was more of an athlete, playing football, basketball, and that kind of stuff. But then, I think must have been, 8, 9, or 10. Every family had an ukulele, right? So my mom played a little. My dad played. He would sing. So that was my introduction. KCCN was my introduction to Hawaiian music. Yeah. When I first started playing, you just hang out with the kids who are better than you, or, and you just play with them. That's how you got better, right? And I picked up stuff fast, so it was fun for me. And then when I met my friend Asa Young, who introduced me to like true down home folk music, and this was like the mid 70s. His brother, Rowan Young, was a classmate of Dennis Kumukahi. So they would have this Christmas Eve party, the Halava Jams. Dennis would be there, and all of these Hawaiian musicians, and we just sit around in the living room, maybe 15, 20 of us, 3 basses. Eddie Kamai would be there.
Oh my God.
The Sons of Hawaii would be there. Auntie Alice Namaki Lua would be there.
Oh my God.
And we just sit around. And that was my introduction to, Sons of Hawaii music. So I play all of that Eddie Kamai stuff, all the riffs, all the, and there wasn't any words. You had to listen to the albums or cassettes or even 8 tracks, So by learning it that way, a lot of us from my generation, we developed an ear for playing music. We couldn't go on YouTube and find stuff. There's no music books, or it's the same now. The music books that for Hawaiian music, it's all just the words and the chords. It didn't teach you melody line and then, so I was playing a lot of that. But then Peter Moon came out, or that time, the Sunday Manoa, was really a big influence too, listening to all innovative kind of stuff that Peter was doing with the Sunday Manoa musically. It's like, wow, this is so cool. I can get into this. And the Peter Moon Band and Sandwich Isle Band and Makapu'u Sand Band. And, we formed a group called the Side Order Band, the SOBs. That was me, Del Beasley, Asa Young, and Chris Kamaka from Kamaka Ukulele. So I've known Chris since, I was in high school. He's like 5 years older than me, but we always played music together, and that was the kind of foundation. And we got a gig strolling at the Willows. I was like 20 years old, something. We worked there for almost 2 years. It was myself, Del, Horace Durua from Ho'okena, and then Chris. So we strolled, and we had to earn our callus or earn our credits, playing music. Elaine Ako Spencer was playing there with Cy Luddington and Kalani Fernandez, and so I got to hang out and listen to their music. And they would, if you don't know who Cy Luddington is, he's one of those old time musicians who was like a one-man band, along with guys like Hiram Olsen and all of these guys. But anyway, yeah. So that's where my Hawaiian music is rooted in. While I was playing with Asa, this must have been right out of high school, we started playing for May Lobenstein and Alicia Smith's Halau, because Chris's sister danced, and so we started playing Halau music, or Halau. I was 19, 20, I don't know, when we played my first Merry Monarch. This was 1980. Yeah. So back then, when you're the Halau band, you were only the Halau band. You couldn't cross-pollinate like how we do now. You play for multiple Halaus and stuff. Back then, if you played for you got all the Halau T-shirts. Wherever they went, you went. Whatever they did, you did. So, yeah. I mean, that's how deeply rooted I am in the Hawaiian music, I guess. But I always like listening and playing to other music, like you like rock and all of that stuff. I don't listen. People ask me, what ukulele albums do you listen to now? I said, no, I don't. Sorry. I just listen to music, jazz influences or swing or bluegrass, or I listen to steel guitar, Buddy Edmonds, and Holly turns me on to all of these cool music, Portuguese music, and then you just try and incorporate that with what I do now. I'm just super blessed and fortunate that I get to do what I do. I play music sometimes like 5-6 nights a week, and usually every night it's with a different group or different musicians. Yeah, Mondays I'm usually playing with Hale Haku, so it's his 335 and me on ukulele at Duke's. 3 or 4 nights a week, I work at the Aulani Luau, and I get to work with like Casey Olsen, Jeff Ahoy on steel guitar, Travis Kaka on guitar, Jeff on guitar, Glenn Maera, Po'okela Wood joins us sometimes, Ho'oapo, Ha'alili Higher. So every night it's different guitarists, different steel guitarists. Recently, well, I used to fill in with Ocean Kauili some Fridays and Saturdays at the Halekulani. So that's a whole different vibe and environment, yeah. I think he hires me just because I have all whites. I always tease him. But he always tells me, Brian, he can call me last minute. It's just, just got to add water. Just show up. I said, yeah, shoots. Okay. Because Ocean is another guy that's extremely talented, and his guitar work is amazing. So, in the moment, I'm always trying to listen to, okay, what kind of voicings am I going to use against to what he's playing? Not just, I'm just going to play C, F, and G7. It's like, yeah, but where and how, and just listening to chord progressions on the fly. And it stems from, listening to albums, cassettes, 8 tracks, and learning it that way. If I need to, I can go look at music. I suck at sight reading. I can read chord charts, but, I suck at sight reading. But, like I say in my workshops and stuff, we all speak different musical languages, but the great thing is we can arrive at the same destination. So did that answer your question?
That's wonderful.
Sorry, I get passionate about anything ukulele or Hawaiian music and stuff.
No, that's cool. Did you have like a day job back then when you were just getting into it?
So I was working at the Willows playing music, but then I got a job at working for the U.S. Post Office. So I worked there for 30 years. People, some of the guys who I work with, they didn't know I played music. But some of the people who, because I was probably the busiest part-time ukulele player out there, as an accompanist, not necessarily doing solo ukulele work, but, I started playing with Kuipo Kumukahi at the Sheraton Waikiki. This was about 89, 90 maybe. Stayed there for like 5-6 years. And the band was Kuipo Kumukahi, Chris Kamaka, and Greg Sardina. So with Greg being on, I play with some of the best steel guitarists, man. Oh, and also took steel guitar from Jerry Bird, way back when. I usually just play for myself. I'll put it away. I'll put it away, and then take it out. Then I know it is spring finger ease, or I gotta change the strings. So Holly has my Jerry Bird fry pan that he's fixing one of the pots on. So I played with uipo for like 6 years. Right after that, I started playing music with Jerry Santos at Chai's Island Bistro. It was just he and I. I said, what about Olomana? He said, no. Because when I played ukulele with him, it allowed Jerry to play more of the older Olomana stuff with Robert Beaumont. When he was playing with Haunani and such, it was more the Hawaiian music. Yeah. So right after that, I started playing with Weldon Kekauoha at the Kanikapila Grill. We started right when they kind of opened, maybe a couple months after the Kanikapila Grill opened at the Outrigger. So I stayed playing with him for like 6 years too, And then after that, it was like, time for me to, focus more on work and family. Well, not necessarily work. And then, just opportunities kept coming. As far as recordings and stuff, I recorded with, all kind. Hōkū Zuttermeister, Kuana Torres, Natalie, Raiatea Helm. And then I started gigging, not regularly, but being part of Rai's band. That was with Jeff Peterson and Steve Jones and Dean Taba. Funny thing is, though, they'd all bring their music stands and then bring their folders or iPads with their music. So I was like, I kind of felt left out. So I'd bring my music stand, my folder. I only have my words. I just put my words in order. I just make notes and go, okay, I got this. And I was really fortunate that I got to jam with Jeff. Because I'll ask him all kind of questions. Jeff, if you're playing this, can I just play this chord? Because that's what it sounds like to me. So, just play the F7, instead of the F9 or that's how it's written, right? So, I'll just play this. So it was good. It was a good opportunity to travel with those guys. And these are not ukulele players, playing with Steve Jones. And we went on tour with Raiatea. I forget what year it was. So it was Steve Jones on bass, Jeff Peterson guitar, Aaron Salah actually played guitar, and then I played ukulele. And it takes, and it's never about, it's Bryan Tolentino with these guys. It's as an accompanist, it's how do you fit in? How do you make it work? Where do you fit in? Some of these younger guys, they're geared to being more soloists, because that's what they see, right? They see the Jakes and the Calais and stuff. But nah, man, I have so much fun playing and making music with other people. Yes, I have to be Bryan Tolentino, the soloist, and put on that hat. Can I do it? Yeah, but it's more fun playing music with other people and traveling with other people. Because as you know, I like to travel. I like to eat. So I got to hang with cool people,
Yeah, well, playing with all these people and staying busy, that's an easy thing for Bryan Tolentino to stay busy with. But for everybody else, music is, at least what I see here on Big Island, is that it's down and like you're not going to make much money doing it unless you're a solo act. Even then, it's a stretch. Have you noticed that the business has been affected for you as an accompanist predominantly?
Well, coming out of pandemic, yeah, of course, and it's easy for big companies and, use the pandemic as an excuse. Well, we're not making money, and yeah, but you were always making money. Musicians, and they're always the last guy to be paid. When you have parties, luau's and stuff, you pay everybody else, the caterers, the wedding planners, whatever. The musician guys are always like, can you kokua and shit. But I think for where I am, I can pick and choose when I want to. If I want to do, like the $100 gigs, I can. Other than that, it's like, nah, I'm happy with what I'm doing. It's funny because I can make a living doing what I'm doing, playing at Duke's, playing at Aulani, playing, it's not even a part-time job. I don't make as much money as I was at the post office, but it's way better than the weekend gig here and there. And because I love it, and I didn't do a lot of this while I was playing with Kuipo Kumukahi, because it was only a once a week gig. Playing with Jerry was started off as twice, but once a week gig. Yeah, with Weldon, it was a once a week gig. So, and, I got to travel and go to Japan and stuff. So, that was a great part-time job. But now it's like, I have more opportunities to do other stuff. So, I'll always look at the opportunity, take it. If I don't like it, then it's like, well, I took the opportunity, and it's, okay, I don't like it, I won't do it. But I'm just blessed that while I was still working at the post office, I was able to keep the connections and keep the contacts. Because, for a lot of the younger guys, or people just starting out, I want to say younger guys, I don't want to discriminate, but a lot of the younger guys, they have the talent level, but they don't have the maturity level. They don't have the business sense. And those things will keep the doors open. The talent will open the doors. but it's all the other stuff that will keep you got to treat it like a job. You got to treat it like a business, because we hear all the horror stories about people who come late, don't show up. They have this entitlement of, I want a hōkū or whatever. It's like, no, a lot of times for longevity, you have to keep your business sense up. You have to keep your maturity level up. You have to keep all of that, appearance, punctuality, being on time. And people hire me. They know, again, I'm not the best ukulele player out there. I'm the best Bryan Tolentino. But people, when they hire me, they know I'm going to come early. They know I'm going to come dressed. They know I'm going to act professional. And I guarantee you, I know that helps get gigs for me. It's the professionalism by doing that, and word of mouth. Hawaii's too small. We hear all the stories, man. Yeah. So that would be my suggestion to all the up and comers. Yeah. If you want longevity, and I've been playing for years, decades, it's the people that you hang with, the people you associate yourself with. And it's sometimes it's not the musician you are, it's the person you are. And I firmly believe that. You gotta be dependable, man. You kind of go, oh, I got another gig, pays me more. See ya. And we know those people. We know those people. So anyway, yeah.
So beyond that other stuff, going back to like the talent stuff, what do you feel you've improved at most over the years, or what has made the biggest difference in your playing from when you started to now?
And I'm still learning. The learning process for me is I get excited when and it's subtle stuff. It's not the growing up. It's the latest bells and whistles, right? All Peter Moon's runs, all Eddie's runs, it's all of that. And by doing that, it helps you build vocabulary. But how do you piece the vocabulary together to create your own sound or music? And I guess for me, it's when I got to hang out with like Benny Chong, Byron Yasui, it kind of steered me in a different direction as far as chord choices, voice leading, chord efficiency, how you hold chords. And that's what I build. It's real subtle. Maybe only I'll do something that I notice, but I get excited about it because like, no, that's cool. I can do that. It's more efficient. Instead of just playing it vanilla, there's a different way to, add the fairy dusting. Now, the fairy dusting term didn't come from me. It came from Dave Tusserone when I used to go into the studio, because I would just show up for recording. Steve would just say, no, you don't send me any tracks. You just show up and play it. Just fairy dust it. It's like, okay, choose. But it's the ability to play being able to play in any key and be instinctive and intuitive with it is what I kind of thrive on now. Because at the Aulani, you did that video, right, of key changes and all of that stuff. But like, they sing in every key. And I started doing that too. It's like, I think I sound better in B flat. I can play the song in B flat. And when I'm playing in B flat, I don't struggle with, B flat, F7, C7. It's just all instinctive. And it's instinctive to the point where if I can play in B, I just move it up half step and everything is kind of right there. And I'm always, I had this post on, I forget where it was, maybe it was Facebook, and I'm just creating all kind of voice leading, just creating stuff on the fly, like, ooh, I'm going to use this tonight, in the song. Or I'm playing and I just say, I'm going to try this voicing. Oh, it works. I'm going to try it again. Second verse, it works. And then instead of playing, because part of the Aulani show is all is structured, yeah? So it's kind of like the same sequence of songs. But the challenge for me is, okay, there's a different guitar player. How is he playing this song? Because Travis Kaka will play different than how Jeff Ahoy plays and different than Glenn Maeda plays. So it's like, okay, Travis is playing. I hear what he's playing. So these are some of the chord choices that I can make. Oh, yeah, that worked. Oh, shucks, that didn't work. But it's that live music mentality where you just got to keep going. Byron Yasui always says, well, it's the conveyor belt mentality, man. You can't get off. And if you do fall off, how do you get back on? So those are the things I think that I work on. Just being able to dissect the music in real time. Being an accompanist, you have to have supremely attentive listening. Yeah. And you got to be super reactive to it. Like I said, if the song calls for C, F, and G7, I guarantee you I'm not going to play on C, F, and G7, the first 3 frets. I was trying to show somebody how to play one of the songs. Like, I don't even know how, because I'm past the 5th fret every night, or I'm working all these voicings. And it's like, okay, wait, how do I play it vanilla? I don't know how to play vanilla, And when I play with Halehaku, that's for sure. All kind of chord progressions, all kind of different voicings. So I encourage up-and-comers or anybody who wants to be an accompanist to throw yourself in a pot, man. Just be able to jam or sit in with people. Mika Kane, I use as an example all the time. This is while he was studying with Dr. Yasui to get his degree. And, he grew up in the Kale Gamiao, Jake Shimabukuro era of music, right? So he did all of that. So he asked one day if he could come and sit in with Hale and I at Nico's. I said, yeah, shoots, come. Be there on time, be dressed, be ready to perform. I cannot pay you, but if you want to sit in with us, I can squeeze a meal for you, So he would come for almost like 5 years, every day. I mean, every week we used to play there, Hale and I. And it was a training session for him to just listen. I'm playing, Hale's taking a solo, and then Mika will take a solo while I said, why are you talking? He's talking. Why are you playing where I'm playing? Play someplace else. But I mean, so he learned to listen and figure out what is 2 ukuleles. Now, my thought process whenever I'm playing with another ukulele player is I'm never going to try and voice the same where he's playing. That's like going on a piano and playing the same chords. It's like, no, I'm going to play here. If you're playing here, then I'll play here. So he really learned that part of it. So with Mika, I've actually called him for some gigs. We needed a third. And it's like, hey, Mika, come jam with us. And he doesn't sing. He does sing, but he's gun shy. But I have no worries. Like if we're playing E flat, B flat, he can play. He's super talented. And he has both learning experiences, learning to play by ear, learning by fire. Like Dr. Yasui says, facing the bullets. But he also went through the University of Hawaii program to get his degree, and his instrument was ukulele. So, yeah. What was the question?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Something about, where my learning process, yeah? Or, yeah, it was just like, we all start out emulating, right? Somebody, copying and, but again, that builds vocabulary within what you do. And then as you progress, I don't want to be a jukebox, right? And just keep playing those songs over and over. I mean, yeah, it was an accomplishment, learning all of Peter's licks and, all of those things. And for the young kids, it was learning all of Jake's stuff or Kale's or whoever, Brad Bordessa's arrangements. But then, you want to be able to be versatile. Can you make it as an accompanist? Well, I can. It's taken years. It's taken all of the things that I just mentioned about the talent, the maturity, the business sense, being able to play in any key, at any given moment and feel comfortable. And, I've done recordings where they wanted me just to play in B flat. I mean, it was just one rhythm track. I was like, okay. And another thing is, I don't use a ukulele capo or capo. You got 4 strings, you got 4 fingers. Because if I slap the capo on the 5th fret, I lose the first 4 frets. I get it, if you want open voicing and stuff, but you got to be able to change key on the fly and not take off the capo and move it. I get it. Slacky guys, they have to because they got 6 strings. Unless someone out there has 6 fingers on his left hand, and that'd be amazing. Some of them sound like they have 6. But that's some of my manao on just playing ukulele and the Hawaiian music scene and such. But the main thing, wherever I am doing a gig, whatever, you gotta have fun. That feeling that you and I had just playing music when we first started. I try and bring that to whenever I'm playing, whoever I'm playing for. Because it has to be fun for me and not work. It has to be fun with the people. Yes, we've done gigs. Money is green, and we've done those gigs but I still have fun with it, and I still have learning experiences. Well, I won't do that gig again. Yeah.
Who do you see coming up that you're excited about? Who sounds fresh and new and maybe has a nice take on music and the instrument?
Ryo Saito. Ryo is Japanese. I cannot say young. He's in his 20s already. He used to live in Hawaii for about a year. He always used to have this red cap. He was I don't know, 10. Do you know Ryo? He's a Japanese. He lives in Japan, but he's super talented. So. He went to, I think, jazz school in Japan. He studied with, or when it comes to with Byron, to help him with the theory part of music. Ryo. And there's some funny you should ask that question. Because I was just mentioning to somebody, on the mainland, the farther east you go, and this is just my simple observation, you become more of a singer-songwriter. They're more geared to singing songs, writing songs, playing on the first 3 frets, maybe taking it past the 5th. I mean, there's some good players, but it's more geared to that. Where the further west you go, there's more artistry in the ukulele playing. Like West Coast and even Japan and Taiwan and Korea. There's really some good soloists. I'm not Hawaiian music, but their articulation and what they're doing with the ukulele is cool. I know Byron Yasui has a student in Korea that plays jazz, so he's super good. I forget his name offhand. But there are, those are some of the young guns. I mean, like Kale them, then, you and Corey, all super talented. All super talented ukulele players. Yeah, I don't know who's going to take it to the next level, though. Because usually there's one guy that breaks out and, carries the torch again. Jake still carries the torch for all of us.
Yeah.
Guys like Jake, I mean, even James Hill. Sorry if I'm forgetting anybody, but, those are the guys that are super talented with their ukulele playing. You know, they expand the horizon, so to speak, as soloists. I was just with James at the Denver Ukulele Festival, and I haven't heard him live for a long time, but man, he's so polished, so musical, you know. And it's not always about the bells and whistles, you know. And you see that with the young guys, right? It's like a competition, you know, with them. They're trying to outdo, but it's like, no, you still gotta be musical. You know, Andrew Molina is another one that's out there. Brittany, she's gonna hate me for saying this, but she's not young anymore. I always rag on her. I love her so much. But you know, even guys like Andrew and yourself, you guys are not young anymore. You know, who do you see? I mean, I know you're on Hawaii Island, but who do you see that you like as far as the younger generation guys?
There's not many. The only one who's really caught my attention in the past few years is Anastasia, Anna the Banda on YouTube. She's pretty young, still high school, I think, but doing like weird tapping stuff. Like I don't know. For me, I see everybody sounds a little bit like Jake, but she's one of the very few who doesn't sound anything like anybody, just completely forging her own path, which is really refreshing.
Okay, I'll go check it out. No, that's cool though, because, but for a lot of these young ones, it's all about the longevity that I see, you know, because, you know, I have this conversation sometimes with the young guys. They're always trying to, you know, it seems like they're competing within themselves with like, I did this song, now I got to do this other song better than I did this song, or add this that I didn't add. Like, I guess, then you're always competing, you know, just make it musical. You know, it doesn't have to be always in your face firing. You know, that's how Jake was, right? With Pure Heart and stuff. Man, I get tired just watching him. He's so frenetic. But if you go to a concert or see him live now, you know, when he plays his ballads and stuff, man, he's so tasteful, and you can hear a pin drop sometimes, you know, and then he can just kick you in the nuts and do the same stuff that he does. But yeah, so there has to be it comes with maturity. You know, you have to be know when not to play. You know, less is more. You know, you hear that a lot, but truly less is more. You know, you need musical dynamics when you're performing. Yeah, you don't always have to be firing. You know, I get it. You know, you're going to fire 20 minutes, hey, whatever. Play music, man. Don't play technique.
Nice.
You know, my steel guitar teacher, Jerry Bird, used to tell me, you know, Brian, speed only shows, what did he say? Speed only shows off technique. But it's what you do from one note to the next that makes or breaks. And it's, yeah, and you as a steel guitar player, you know, right? It's what you do between note and the little vibrato that you add or don't add, or, you know, that's what makes the line. Yeah, it's not all of the fancy stuff. So, and I take that to heart. Plus, I'm older. I'm too lazy to learn other fast. You know, can I do it? Yeah, of course. But, you know, you want to be musical. And as an accompanist, you know, a lot of times, like I'm the third guy in a duo. That's how I think sometimes. Or I'm the fourth guy in a trio. It's not, oh, here, look, I'm Bryan Tolentino. I'm going to, you know, like, no, where do I fit? You know, if you need lead, I'll play the lead. If you need rhythm, if you need some kind of glue to hold everything together, then I take that upon myself to go, okay, this is what's needed. And how do we make this work? You know, if there's 2 or 3 lead guys playing, that's too much traffic, right? You know, so you gotta pick and choose. And the great thing about our early morning kanikapilas at 5 a.m. with Ledward is everyone is so tasteful and everyone listens. You know, like Sonny and Kevin, they all play soft. So we got to play softer so we can hear them, right? You know, I would bug Daniel because he doesn't usually, you know, do these kind of kapilas, right? Daniel Ho, I'm talking about. Daniel, you just got to come, bro. There's no egos. There's no nothing. We just playing music, man. We're doing it for ourselves. So he came that first morning. He came late. He couldn't get up. Well, just like you. But somebody mentioned something. I think it was Chuck Moore on one of the posts. So anyway, so he told me, he said, Bryan, thank you so much. I had so much fun. You know, everyone was so tasteful. Everyone was so, I said, yeah, you know, we're just playing music to play music for ourselves. Just happens that the campers come out and they come drink their coffee and listen to us. But, you know, we just jamming and making music. You know, that's how we started. So that just by doing those mornings, that brings me back to the foundation of playing music, you know. And when Led, he told me this last two years ago, oh, no, Bryan, I want you to sit next to me. So I said, okay, shoots. I'll be there every morning. That's why he calls me his wingman. Because I moved one morning. He says, no, don't do that. I forget who sat next to him. It was one of the campers, though. Well, was it one of us? He says, no, you got to sit next to me. I said, okay, I'll sit next to you. I'll be there. You know, and if Led asked, when am I going to get the opportunity, or any of us get the opportunity? I'm picking his brain hard, you know. When he's playing, I'm copying and emulating stuff while everyone else is playing like, okay, I got it. Okay, I'm going to use this. I know where I can use this. Then I'll play it back to him and I just see him laugh. You know, but that's how I learn. And I continue to learn, man. I look forward to those 5 a.m. Kanikapilas with Ledwood and everybody else, right? Because everyone is so respectful. There's a professional respect that everyone has for everyone's talents and stuff. So I love that. Yeah, am I talking too much?
No, that's wonderful.
I can go on, man. I can go on because I am passionate about what I do and sharing, not necessarily the technical stuff, but it's how you use it. Yeah, it's sharing mana'o on why we do it, maybe how we do it, and hopefully it leads other people down this path as far as loving the instrument that we love and playing the instrument and, you know, doing it the best. Because we all do it differently, you know, and there's enough of us to do it differently and still be successful for what we do, what you do, you know. People just assume that you play ukulele, so, oh, wow, you sing, or you're a songwriter, or you play all these instruments. There's different facets of playing ukulele, you know. Hey, if you just like playing a song with 3 chords, awesome, then do that. You know, just have the joy in that, you know, because there's built-in community around the world, wherever you go, right? There's a club here and there that even more so. I think one of the positive things from the pandemic is, you know, all this online-based teaching that you can do. You know, I have students in Switzerland, Germany, you know, they go to the source, right? Now, who's your kumu? They can go to the source and I can share with them over Zoom or FaceTime, you know, knowledge in real time instead of going on YouTube. Nothing against YouTube, but Brad, you and I know that some of it is rubbish.
Yep.
I'm just going to say, like, it's rubbish. I don't care who hears this. It's rubbish.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah. But there's some great teachers out there that are using that platform. You know, their YouTubes and their Patreons and whatever they use. You know, early on, you know, the Ukulele Underground, Eldrin, them were may have been the first, maybe, to do some of those things in that format. Yeah. So props to them. You know, Craig and Sarah do a wonderful job with what they're doing. You know, and I love them because they're ukulele people that help ukulele people. You know,
yeah.
So
what's next for you?
What's next? Herb Ohta Jr. and I be touring the mid-July, going to Huntington Beach at Island Bazaar and up to Corona. Then we're going to the Midwest Ukulele and Harmonica Festival.
Oh.
Then we got some friend. One of my students has organized a gig down in Indiana. Then we're going up to New Jersey, where Andy Wang, Slacky guy, organized a gig for us. Then we're going to end up in Virginia. Irv Kuija is doing it. He's part of the Aloha Boys. So I'll go be staying with Isaac Ho'opi'i. And then as far as, I guess, the formal group, Nue, na ukulele kolu, mihale and kama, we have a couple grad parties. We have Waimea Falls, the end of August. I'm forgetting stuff. Traveling to Japan with Rai in October. Maybe going to Japan in September. So, my plate is kind of full, but it's fun stuff. Just being able to do the stuff that we love to do and sharing the ukulele love all over, and I get to eat all over. So that's this. I don't know which is better.
So if people want to come check out your shows, where can they look you up?
You can go to my website. It's kind of hard. It's BryanTolentino.com. And it's BRYAN, the correct spelling. BRYAN Tolentino.com. And I usually post my gigs, not too far out, but it's, my weekly gigs, like if I'm at the Halekulani or Dukes. I don't post the Aulani gigs only because you got to book, like, from what I hear, a month or so in advance.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, super popular. I mean, there's like 400 or 500 people a night there.
Jeez.
But that's one of my fun gigs because, I get to jam with all of these super talented musicians and singers and dancers. It's not necessarily a luau. It's more of a production, man. It's a big production. I haven't eaten there yet, but from what I understand, the food is top notch too. So, just doing that, teaching online. You can contact me through my website. I have a Facebook page. I have Instagram. Agent 4String, I think, is my handle. So if you need, you can contact me for private lessons or group lessons, and they're as needed. I have regular students, like I said, like 5 or 6, but life interrupts, man. You need a lesson because I give so much information, I allow you to record it and you can use whatever. So, yeah, just have fun playing ukulele or whatever instrument you choose, and for the love of that, it's not about big bucks, man. Although you can, if you work hard at it. But then you treat it as a business. You don't treat it as a gig. Too many musician friends, they treat it as gigs. Yes, they're gigs, but you got to treat it like work. There's a certain professionalism and all of that comes into play. That's why you get hired. Like I said, I'm not the most talented, but I guarantee you people will hire me because I'm dependable. And that's a big rule. They don't have to babysit me. Mm-hmm. Always. Sometimes. No, just kidding. Cool, Brad.
Right on. Thanks so much, Bryan. Once again, you can check Bryan out at BryanTolentino.com. That's BryanTolentino. Or at Agent 4String on Instagram. I know by the time this podcast comes out, some of those dates he was talking of for his mainland tour are going to be kind of a squeeze/past. But if you're on the East Coast, hopefully there's still a chance to maybe check some of those out. If not, definitely look him up next time you're in Hawaii on the island of Oahu. go see what he is up to, because he's super fun to go see, super fun to watch play, and the music is awesome. It's all great stuff. I think I might have mentioned in the last episode that Uncle Kimo's interview is coming up. It is, but I decided to swap Bryan's out because I knew that Bryan's was kind of ready to go. Uncle Kimo and we got to iron out some of the details before putting that out to the world, but that's coming soon. That'll probably be next month. And I'm just so happy that I've got so many great interviews lined up this season. It's been super fun to put all this together and to bring this to you folks. Hopefully you've been enjoying it. And like I said at the beginning of the episode, if you do like what you hear, become a supporting member or check out the store at liveukulele.com and support the cause. So thanks to Bryan for taking the time out of his day, his busy day, to be on the podcast, share some of his thoughts with us. Really just a treat. And hopefully we could do it again soon. We had a good time, and I think he gets a kick out of sharing, and I'll come up with another set of questions, or if you folks have any questions that you're yearning to hear, let me know. I can put them in the hopper for next time, and we'll push to try and make that happen. So thanks for tuning in. The Live Ukulele podcast is published on the first and third Saturdays of every month. Hope you're well out there. Keep on jamming. Catch you next time. Aweau.